I mean, if you want me to... They may not do that. I was gonna say, put it on screen for you. But you can just like Google screenshots of SimCity 4. Why is this here? Okay, like that. Maybe I should play SimCity 4 again. You know, I've never quite managed to build the city of my dreams in SimCity 4. It always gets bogged down with scale after a while. If you haven't played it, my biggest complaint with SimCity 4 is that every single school, hospital, police station, fire station, library, every single one has their own particular funding levels that you can set. And if you don't manually optimize them, then you basically lose money, right? So you have to, because the city population fluctuates as buildings get built and demolished, so you have to manually optimize the funding levels of each and every school, clinic, hospital, fire station, police station, etc. And if you don't do that, you run out of money really easily. So as your city gets bigger, after a while, you spend more and more and more time clicking through each one of your hospitals and clinics and schools and whatnot to like kind of push the bar a little over to the left or the right, and you just do that all over and over again. As the city gets bigger and bigger, you spend more and more time clicking through each one of these service buildings and adjusting manually adjusting the funding level. And that's when I stopped playing. There's not even a list. So some games have a list view, right? If you have a whole lot of buildings, you would just get a spreadsheet. And you can open the spreadsheet and maybe adjust everything on the same spreadsheet. The SimCity 4 doesn't even have that. Like, it has a spreadsheet, but you have to open up each one. You can click on the thing on the spreadsheet to go to the thing on your map. But then you have to adjust the bar, the funding bar, manually there. So it's just a UI problem, I think, more than anything else. Ideally, the funding level should just optimize by itself. Like that shouldn't be manually optimized because it's just finicky and not interesting to do. But if you have to manually do it, then there should be a spreadsheet where you can adjust everything in the same place. But there isn't. And so I've never managed to build the city of my dreams in SimCity 4 because every single time I try, it gets bogged down in a whole lot of fiddly micromanagement of funding levels of individual schools and clinics and libraries and fire stations. Jonas says, I think in modern games it would probably start off manual and then you'd get some sort of upgrade. Yeah, something like that. And the thing is, it's kind of interesting when you have like a small town. It is actually quite interesting to like fiddle with this thing to make sure you have the optimum funding level to save money. It just doesn't scale, right? So you're right, Jonas. Like, it should be a thing that is there in the early game, and then in the late game, as it scales up and becomes unwieldy, it just gets automated. That would be ideal, I think. Every time it just becomes this micromanagement nightmare. It's a real shame because I like that game, and it just doesn't scale. Maybe there's a mod. I wish there was like a... maybe somebody made a mod for it. I should look it up. I think that's the only thing that makes it unplayable for me. Alright, how much time do I have left? 14 minutes. 14 minutes for me to punch dirt over here. Oh boy. Alright, well, let's start punching and see how far I get. 1, 2, 3. That should actually rise up to... oh, not that one. Rise up to there. I wonder how hard it is to mod SimCity 4, because people have done it. People have modded the game quite a bit. Just mod it so that you don't have a funding bar. It just sets it. Like, however many students you have, that's how much funding it requires. And it doesn't require any manual override. Or rather, like, I mean, ideally there'll be like a toggle. You can either do it automatically or you can manually override. Because if you're like desperate for money or something, you can like deliberately lower the service level. So like, you can deliberately lower the quality of your schools, for example, to save money in a pinch. But that should be an override, not the default. I think I would want to fill this in. There. I think that's right. And then that. Is that correct? 1, 2, okay, that is correct. SimCity, maybe I should look that up. Google. SimCity 4. SimCity 4 funding. BSC funding mod? What does that mean? Freeze your budget. That's not what I want to do. I should do this after the stream. What am I doing? Uh, anyway, I'm gonna look that up in my own time. Oh, did I mess up the screen? No. So the other side of this, 1, 2, and 3. I guess I don't need to fill that in. So that, and that, I believe is right. Okay, that's right. Alright, and then there's a giant ramp down there. Punching stone. It's faster if I spam the mouse, but I don't really want to spam my mouse all the time. I wonder if it's possible, because the money management in SimCity 4 is pretty tight. Like you barely have enough budget to run your city most of the time. Is it possible to play it without adjusting or without micromanaging the funding levels? I don't think so. Let me just... that off. Is this correct? That's not correct. It needs to be there. That's to there, to there. It's gonna be a pretty epic bridge later on. Alright, pushing through here. There. All right, another lake. I wonder if when they tested the game, like SimCity 4, like they never actually tested it with a long enough game or a big enough city that it became a problem. Like the game designers, in fact I think Minecraft game designers also have this problem, is that the game testers or the designers, when they test the game to see whether it's fun, they don't play past the first, I don't know, 10 hours? I'm not sure if they do. Some sandbox games, you get the impression that the game designers haven't spent thousands of hours playing their own game, which obviously, like, it's understandable because they have to make the game. They can't just be playing the game for thousands and thousands of hours all the time. But when you have like an open-ended sandbox game, it does mean that the late game and the end game becomes an unknown quantity to you if you don't test the game for that long. I'm not sure if there's any good answer to this. One, two, three, four. Alright. Jonas says you have game testers though. Yeah, but Jonas, a lot of game testers, their job is to find bugs. Their job is not really to like, if you play for like 10 hours and you don't encounter any bugs, you assume that the game is bug free or whatever it is. Yeah, you do have game testers, Jonas. It's just that I don't know if game testers get paid to like enjoy the game for 500 hours. Game testers, like they're not a. Anyway, I'm not sure there's any good answer. Is what I'm trying to say, because you have to play the game for a long time to find these end game things. But if you play the game for a long time, you're basically spending a long time not doing anything productive because you're playing video games. Anyway, with that, I'm going to end today's stream. Good to have you, Jonas, and everybody else. Let me end the video here.